Fire.
What's up, guys? We are back with the Sports Port. It's a Thursday, which is kind of weird for us, Tam. You know, we're not usually here on Thursdays, but we have a very special edition for you guys today. We have America's GA in Gino Ganello as a guest in studio today. Gino, what is going on, brother? How have you been?
PJ, I've been good, man. It's good to be back here in Bridgeport. It's been a while. I think probably about a year at this point now. It's been too long, so happy to be back up here, especially with you guys. So talking some sports, that's fun.
Of course, that's what we do here. Sportsport, always talking sports, powered by Downtime. The usual suspect in Tam, we got Gino, and then we can't forget the super producer behind the scenes, Mike Theophil. Mike, what's going on, boy?
Hey, yo.
So we have a really good
thank
show
you guys.
for you
Thank
guys
you.
today.
Sorry, it was the crowd.
Wait, where's the crowd?
They're behind us.
They're on Zoom probably, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
They're zooming in for today's episode.
Yes.
We didn't have enough. We didn't have enough space in
Welcome
the
to Zoom
studio.
audience.
We have a lot to get through today. Gino, before we kind of break down the whole sports thing with the World Series, NFL, tell everybody kind of a little bit about you. I mean, I know you because you're our GA. I mean, he was in the sports comm program with us. He was the higher up that we had to report to.
Yes,
I appreciate the high praises. Obviously better than the Tony Matariello.
Oh, 100%.
Of course.
If you guys know him, he didn't really do too much at Sacred Heart. So.
Not a damn thing.
No, but yeah, no.
Shots
I am
fired.
Had to throw that in there. He'll love that. Yeah, I am a sports reporter right now for News 12 in Westchester. That's New York. I don't know who we're reaching out till today.
Shout out News 12.
But yeah, so News 12. I do some stuff on the side for Sacred Heart in terms of sideline reporting.
I'm Paul Pior.
Shows, stuff like that. I do a podcast on Everton Football Club, a soccer team from England, for the SB Nation page of Royal Blue Mercy. And then, just kind of...
Now you're here.
And now I'm here.
There you go.
He's a man of many traits, everybody. So we're gonna start
impressive
breaking
resume,
things down.
honestly. For real.
It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
he was.
Well, when you're
he's
go,
the best. He's the best. He really is the best. I mean, me and Mike can attest.
you know what people used to call him? Hold on, I want to get the... They used to call him
LeBron James.
Ed Shoe.
Oh my god!
I'm not going to deny that.
Just
I'm
like
not gonna
that?
deny
No.
It
Did all
was,
I
the
won't say it
students
happened
sound
either.
like that?
it was.
I told you that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes
Well, Tony
it would
did.
depend. It would depend on the certain day.
Right.
Sometimes you would give a little
Just
bit of a
joking,
higher
Tony.
pitch, LeBron James.
This is a high pitched LeBron James.
Yeah.
Yes. We love Tony, though, all seriousness.
Yeah. Hey, Big Tone, if you're watching, love you, brother. We need to have you on the show. Gino beat you to it, so he's like one of our first guests on the show. So you're just gonna have to step your game up. But anyway,
When you get here, yes.
Yeah, when he makes his way over.
Poor
to
guy's
the
not even
studio.
here
Yeah,
to
when he
defend
makes his way
himself.
back.
Hey, it's okay.
Bridgeport.
He
Well,
can
if he
take
calls
it.
in, we can...
That would be interesting. So we're gonna start by breaking down the World Series. We do have a new champion for the MLB. It is the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Thank God.
What are we
Seriously.
taking away from that performance the other night, and kind of what are we going to expect from these two teams moving forward?
I think the Dodgers are built for success in the future. I think this was, they've been in the World Series for, 3 of the last 4 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they've been unbelievable. So, obviously they have Mookie, they have Bueller, Kershaw. They have a bunch of
Bueller.
pieces.
They're favorite to win a repeat.
Yeah, there's really no reason not to favorite them to repeat. They have a lot of good pieces that aren't really going anywhere. The Rays, on the other hand, I think they got some good production from players they didn't expect to get production from. Randy Rosarino to be
He's like he's the best player in the MLB.
basically the best player that's ever existed. And obviously uncertainty with what's going to happen with Snell now. Will they trade him to get him off the books? Obviously a lot of money there. So there's a lot of different moving parts with the Rays where you don't feel as confident with them moving forward. Maybe that's a little bit of a Yankees bias with me.
I was going to say, are you a Yankee fan?
Yeah, hey, we're gonna keep it all
fine.
Yankees fan
That's-
here.
that's
It-
perfect.
You already know.
That's been the trend of
Yeah.
this sports port. We've had Yankee fans all over the place, which is phenomenal. I think the first time we've ever actually had that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Definitely Yankees bias because we were saying the same thing a couple days ago.
But the Rays are a good team. It's
No
just
doubt.
the offseason will change a lot of things. I think that this postseason probably puts them ahead of the Yankees with the Yankees' lack of probably money moving forward in the offseason.
Money and discipline.
They need to make some moves, and they're not going to make the moves that they need to make because they don't have the money to spend. I think that's been pretty. They've been pretty vocal about that, and reports have said that pretty often. So the Rays, I think, are still the favorites to win the AL East next year. But it's a matter of where those pieces go and if they can keep Snell. Obviously, I'm sure Snell is probably not too happy, as we'll discuss.
Speaking of that, what do we make of that decision? I mean, he had 76 pitches heading into the 6th. He had a one-hitter at that point when the inning started, gave up a leadoff single, obviously, where it was 2 hits, and then right after that was pulled.
Dude, I mean, it's crazy. That was clearly a numbers move, but it blew up right in Cash's face and the Rays' face. So, I mean,
well, you saw
like,
Snell's
you wanted
face.
Yeah.
As soon as he gave up that hit, he was pissed off because he saw Cash coming out of the dugout. He was
and Cash was it didn't
time.
even give Snell a chance to plead his case or anything.
Yeah, I mean,
went right to it.
As a Yankees fan, we see the Mike Mussina clip from
Yep.
years ago telling Joe to stay in the dugout. Obviously Snell wasn't happy about that. If you're going to make that move, I guess my problem would be, why are you bringing in Anderson? Castillo sat on the bench, didn't pitch at all in the final game, which, I mean, I understand, you got a game 7 coming up if you guys win that game, but
and that's a big if, for example, we saw the result. They didn't win that game, so now they have all these pitchers who are healthy and can throw, but they have nothing to.
Yeah, and granted, it's only
a
2-run deficit, and I mean the way the Rays bats are working, especially late in games, you probably expected them to make that up. But the Dodgers were smart in not bringing in Kenley Jansen to close the game out. So
and then have another Game 4 repeat performance of that whole ending, which was probably one of the craziest endings to a game I've ever seen in my life.
And I think if you look back and you kind of take these games and look at them, the Dodgers made the mistake of pitching Kenley in the 9th, or else they win that game probably. So the Snell, who knows if Snell even gets a chance to pitch in Game 6 if the Dodgers don't pitch Kenley in Game 4. So obviously, hindsight is 20/20, but I think I think the majority decision would have been to keep Snell in the game, especially how well he was pitching. I mean, you can't measure emotion, you can't measure clutchness.
He is a big game pitcher. He's a big game pitcher in the sense of I know it was the 3rd time through the lineup. The situation, I kind of understand in the sense
I hate analytics.
Cash technically made the right move, I guess, if it was any normal game.
Yeah.
But in the sense of the next 3 hitters for the Dodgers were 0 for 6.
Yeah, and that wasn't a normal game.
No, exactly. But I'm saying, in a way, it kind of does translate into that game where he kind of had an idea that if he gave up a base runner that inning, he was going to pull him. That was definitely something that was going through his mind, and if it did happen, he was 120%.
The Rays are so analytical.
Exactly.
Trash. Just like the Yankees, though. The Yankees are the same way now.
Boone's a big analytic guy.
It's because it's the higher-ups.
I know.
Yeah,
They're all puppets.
The
GMs are pulling the strings.
I've been saying that since day one.
The strings.
I've been saying that since
I've
day
never
one.
heard you say that.
If we're talking about the Yankees in specific, everybody knew when Boone came in that he was going to be some sort of puppet for Cash.
That's why no team has hired Buck Showalter.
And that's why Joe Girardi didn't pan out, and he made that whole thing about how he wanted to be closer to his family, but it was really he wasn't able to run the team like he wanted to.
Exactly.
Oh, and there's I don't know. Like you said, it's not a regular game in the playoffs. I think. Especially with your ace, you throw out the book.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole in that situation.
Dude, it's the World Series.
He was pitching until his arm fell off.
And
do or die.
And the Yankees, like you said,
the World Series.
So
I don't know if there's any other.
There's no way to really put it.
Yeah.
He fucked up.
It's over. He's never going to get another chance like that.
Good job. And that's the thing. It's like, as fans especially, you sit here and you're like, damn. It's 365 days till we may even have an opportunity to do that again, and it's not 100% guaranteed, right?
Right.
Obviously, in a regular season, who knows? I mean, the Astros don't make the playoffs in a regular season,
Yeah.
So,
trash bags.
Depending
Trash
on
cans,
what Rob
actually.
Manfred and the MLB decide to do.
Which was crazy, by the way, that they were even.
Yeah.
They made a run.
Yeah,
they made a run in the postseason. They looked pretty good, which is, a little questionable. But
fuck them.
That's a whole new conversation for another day.
We can get
we're not going to. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That is we're gonna have to open it up definitely to the audience for that conversation because a lot of people have something to say about that whole topic. So we'll keep it We'll keep it PG
We'll
for
keep
this
that,
time.
yeah, yeah.
World Series,
World Series.
Well, I think I already
Dodgers,
first.
congratulations.
Yeah,
they
Kershaw.
deserved it. Kershaw was
really
phenomenal.
happy for Kershaw.
He,
Yeah, very-
No,
he
so
actually,
that, yeah, it kind of changes what people are going to say now about him.
that's
in the
exactly what I was
postseason.
going to say. He kind of made a
Guy's a
name for
champion
himself
now.
now. He's a champion. He
Champion.
pitched very well for
I
them.
mean,
he did,
throughout
he
the
did.
entire playoffs, I think he had like a 2 ERA or something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
he
And the only
banged
reason
it.
he had a 2 was because he gave up a couple runs in that last outing
Yeah.
there in Game 5 or whatever. You know, he had a 1.29, I think, coming into that game. And, you know, I think he silences all the doubters there. I
Yep.
mean,
Facts.
that guy he's unbelievable.
Yeah, no,
I
he's,
mean-
he's a different breed. Definitely one of the better pitchers we've probably seen in our lifetime, honestly.
And I saw something online that, you know, it's not that Kershaw was ever a bad postseason pitcher. He was an inconsistent postseason pitcher.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this postseason, he was consistent to the point where it mattered.
Exactly.
And it worked out.
And hey,
Got the job
that's now
done.
2 titles in LA for 2020.
Yeah, good for
Facts.
year-
Yo,
big
you
year
want to know?
deserve it.
Hey,
They deserve it.
You want to know my favorite stat about all this? The LA teams winning.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are
This is
gonna
crazy.
love this. So if you add up the amount of times that the Lakers have won a championship in their history of being in existence, and then add up the amount of times the LA Dodgers have won a championship with these two, it equals 24.
I
That's
know.
fantastic.
Also, it's been 32 years since
To
the
the de-
Dodgers won. And
that
8
year-
plus 24
Oh,
is
sh-
32.
This is
Oh. We're starting to crack the code here. It sounds like we're cracking the code. But yeah, you know, LA is definitely
is
buzzing. They got a couple
confused.
championships, but on a lighter note,
And I think just before we continue on that, I think that it proved that no matter what they played the postseason and they had 10 different scenarios in how they wanted to play it, but the 2 best teams in the World Series came out. Won. Lakers were probably the best team in the NBA. They won. So I mean, in the end, no matter how you played the postseason,
Best
the
team
2 best
won.
teams won.
So it worked out.
It worked
Yeah.
exactly. It worked
Yeah,
out.
Didn't
and-
have like the fucking Marlins winning the World Series.
oh my god.
I would have had to fly.
I think it was an overall
Talk
like
to Derek.
great postseason for the NBA
fucked us.
and baseball for that matter.
Yeah.
In the sense that it was smooth. We saw great competition. And like you guys just said, the better teams in the end essentially won. I mean, they were all favorites going into the season.
It worked
but
out.
On a lighter note, and just because we have Gino here, we're going to have to touch upon this game that happened last week just because, you know, he's one of the only Titans fans that I know. And we're going to get
literally.
back.
I
And we're
didn't
going to
know you
get
were a
back.
Titans fan. Okay.
We're going to get back to
I
the
am,
whole
yeah.
inconsistent aspect of things in the sense of
Wow.
How is
what
this a
the-
lighter note? I like the other conversation.
we're shifting to the
a lighter note
NFL.
for PJ.
Lighter note. There's a bunch of games going on. We have some other games to preview, but I just want to hear your opinion on the sense of Steven Gostkowski.
Well, I mean,
Trash.
listen. You have to, yeah, exactly. Crickets is what's going on in my mind right now because I don't really want to say what I, feel. But
You can say it.
if we're being, completely unbiased, completely like looking at this, again, 2020 hindsight, Titans shouldn't have been in that game in the first place based on the way their defense. I mean, their defense gave up 72% of third down, so you can't do that and win games.
Right.
They shouldn't even have had the opportunity to win that game, but they did. And Gostkowski missed a field goal. Obviously, it's hard because he misses the field goal. He misses 4 field goals in week 1, but then kicks the game winner, and then 3 weeks in a row he kicks another game winner. And you're like, okay, like he's back, he's kicking well. This is great. And he kind of had some confidence building that he would make the game tying field goal. I mean, it's only 45 yards, and for obviously,
he cranks
Dude, I
50
think
yarders.
he's like
Yeah.
he's worse percentage wise from like the 40-yard range
yeah,
than
I
he is
don't
from
know.
the 50-yard.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's all about that.
I guess
you got to have
in
some
the
real
end,
kicker about
it's a
that for
head
me.
game, honestly, for them if you
Yeah.
really think about it. And like we kind of discussed on Monday, it was the whole like they faced a lot of penalties on that drive. That kind of made that kick a little further than it would have normally been.
The intentional grounding. I mean, Tannehill's got to know better than to throw that ball anywhere. He's got to throw it somewhere near somebody.
Yeah.
You can't take that penalty. And so that obviously hurts them. That gives them an extra 10 yards, but it's
Yeah, I mean, it happens, but looking forward, they're still in a good position to kind of, make a playoff run. I'm assuming that everybody stays healthy and all that. all that
I was
fun
looking
stuff.
through it, because obviously I'm a pessimistic person. So I'm like sitting here. I'm like, all right, well, they're going to probably lose
So
the
is
next like
Mike.
7 games. Like, it's going to be the worst.
Jets are still winning the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yep. Sure.
Yeah.
No, but I think
I don't even believe that.
even with 7 teams, the way everybody's playing right now, if everybody stays healthy, like I think you need to win like 10 games to get in as the wild card. So you gotta win the division or win 10 games to get in as the wild card.
Unless you're in the NFC East.
Yeah, unless you're in the NFC East.
Then you get handed
Adam?
Then you get handed a playoff spot and a home game.
Adam Gase wouldn't be able to handle that.
And the Titans have the Colts behind them, and they haven't been able to beat the Colts in years, and it's just like
Phillip Rivers, baby.
still a lot of football to play.
A lot of football. And on that note, I just want to kind of, before we kind of wrap up and bring on our next guest, I just kind of want to see what you guys are thinking from what we've seen and what we're about to see this weekend. Who are kind of teams that are sticking out to you guys in the sense of this team is legit and like they're almost pretty much unbeatable for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's back. After last year, obviously no Ben last year. They're back, dude. They got the receiving core, the defense.
That defense is unbelievable.
Minka Fitzpatrick. Fucking.
Hey, you used to play on your favorite team.
Miami.
He used to play for your favorite organization.
See, yes, the Dolphins.
See, I don't know, like
I love them. I don't get it. I hate them.
see from the Titans game. I don't know. I'm not sure because again, the Titans defense was not great.
Right.
The Titans defense is like ranked 32nd in the country. They still weren't able to overcome. I mean, they very well could have been tied, and then the Titans may have won it. You know, I'm not sure the Steelers' offense. Like, I think that there's better offenses in the NFL that are paired with a better defense. I think the Chiefs are probably. I put the Chiefs above the Steelers because of that, because I think that they're pairing between defense and offense. The Steelers are though really good.
Yeah, I just
their
think
defense is really good.
They find ways to win.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's why
And that's what it takes in this NFL, honestly, finding ways to win.
Exactly.
Because all these teams are getting better. You know, they're making moves. They're getting all these young guys, and like they're performing.
Yeah.
But so we got 2 AFC teams right there.
Yeah.
Let's dip into the NFC side of things. So give me your 2 NFC picks, and then we'll kind of wrap this segment up.
Top 2 teams.
Yeah. So like we picked 2. So you guys each picked one from the AFC. Now you each pick one for the NFC.
Seattle.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know who else. The Rams. NFC West.
That's terrible.
See, I don't know. I think I'm with you on Seattle, definitely.
He's like,
I'm not sold
the Rams,
on
Dark horse.
Not sold on the Rams.
Definitely not sold on the Rams.
I'm not.
We are a fucking Niners, boy.
Hey, I said my piece on that. I'm gonna keep it PG today about the Niners.
thank God.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to hear anything else.
No.
And then I think it's a toss-up, even though Green Bay just got absolutely pummeled this weekend by what Tampa was this weekend.
Yeah.
I think it's still a toss-up between those two teams.
Brady.
I think on a any given day, either of those teams wins that game.
Green Bay
so I
looks
think
really good.
Obviously Tom Brady starting to find his feet in Tampa now,
and with Antonio Brown, dude.
Tom Brady.
They have a stacked offense with many.
You think the
weapons.
Bucks win that division? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think they'll end up winning the division.
I think
I'm not
so.
sure about the Saints. I don't know. I mean, they've had some trouble against the Panthers.
They're
who are
iffy.
obviously losing.
They're iffy.
Without some talent. So
They're hurt too. Michael Thomas.
I mean,
hamstrings.
I think that
Current trade
ankle.
rumors to the Jets for Thomas.
that's
Seriously,
the deal for the Super Bowl, though, right?
No, well, not this year when we get, my guy, T. Lawrence.
Oh, dude, he's gonna go back to school.
Definitely.
He actually
100%.
did say that.
No, he didn't say
He's
it. First of all,
considering it.
No, he's just
considering
not
it.
sure. He's going to see how the season ends.
He'll come out. He'll.
He's going to pull an Eli, I think.
And like do the whole I want.
I'm not. Yeah, trade me. Yeah, no, I'm not going to play for
that
him.
happens.
He's dead.
I'm out.
Where are you going?
Argentina.
That's such a random. That's such a
It's
random
gonna be
pull.
sick.
Hey,
Not
that's
just moving to a
gonna
different
be sick.
team,
It's
another
gonna
side
be
of the
fire.
country.
no, just Argentina. I'm just gonna go to Argentina and I'm
just
gonna
gonna
slay
become-
it.
I'm gonna start the Argentinian sports part.
Hey, that's getting another audience for us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're
Hey,
global.
we're gonna start expanding.
He said
Hey,
if that happens.
appreciate Gino. Always
Gino.
a pleasure.
Appreciate you guys
Hey,
having me.
We need
Hell
to
yeah,
have
bro.
you all the time. We got to make this like a weekly
yeah.
thing
Yeah,
where
dude,
it's just
God,
like,
no.
you know,
regular plug.
yeah, exactly. You know, he's going to be another analyst for us.
We could even have him call in the days he can't make it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys are definitely going to see more of Gino as the sports port continues.
I'm here for it.
And
I
as
love
our
it.
views keep going up, which reminds
will-
me, comment, subscribe, like, do whatever you guys got to do. We need some viewers here. We have the best GA in the country over here.
Yeah.
Let's start getting some likes up here. Come on now. Gino, thank you again, brother. Always a pleasure. And we will see you guys next time on the Sports Port.
Well,
Don't let them say
psych.
What's up, guys? You couldn't get rid of us that easily. We have another guest today on the Sports Port. Barnes, you guys might know him from Monday's episode. He called in and gave his beautiful rant about the Jets. We have officially gotten Barnes in the studio. Barnes, what's going on?
What's going on, fellas?
My
Good to
guy.
be here and pumped to talk some sports.
My guy.
Hey, so now that you're here, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I have a home improvement company, LA Barnaby and Sons, and we do roofing, siding, all exterior remodeling. So I do sales for that. And then, I've always been a passionate sports fan on the side. Me and Matt, we went to college together, and we've always talked about, we love sports and always have wanted to talk about it, on a regular basis, and just have had the same passion,
Facts.
So
Awesome. Well, hey,
it's good to be here.
now you're
yeah.
here,
Now we're
and
here.
now we're talking some sports. We're going to kick things off with the NFL. We got a lot of pretty good matchups this weekend in the sense of we're going to start off 1 o'clock slot. We got the Rams going up against the Dolphins in the sense of this is Tua Tagovailoa's first
Great job.
career NFL start.
Sam can't do that.
So what are we thinking about him kind of moving forward in the sense of is he ready to make this jump?
Yeah, I think he's been ready to go. I mean, he's been out for basically a year since that injury happened last year. So you think it's time. I mean, the team's been playing well too. So it's not like you're expecting him to go out there. He's going to get sacked 10 times. But Aaron Donald's, he's going to be there. So
That's
fucking
definitely
animal,
a
dude.
welcome to the NFL.
Yeah.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
going to start today,
I think
but
Tua's
you
gonna-
have Aaron Donald.
I
on the
think
other side.
Yeah.
Tua's going to take a couple hits.
I mean, I think the timing was because of the bye week. That's why they
Right.
did it. But if they could have picked the opponent, I don't think they would have taken
Nah,
the
nah,
Rams.
no.
I mean, with that defense, the way they played Monday night against Chicago, they were swarming the Bears
Yeah.
offense, and like they
Well,
could
dude,
barely
Aaron
get
Donald,
anything
man,
going.
and,
Yeah,
um,
he's a beast.
Dude, he's an animal.
So in the sense
Reminds
of
me of Christmas.
Fitzpatrick getting benched,
Yeah.
in the end, like they did make the decision. It like you said, Barnes, it was the bye week. It was probably the right time. They're playing well. What do you think is next for Fitzpatrick? Do you think he's going to kind of guide Tua through this season, or do you think he's kind of just going to let him do his thing and then kind of
He's gonna
pick
be-
apart his game as it goes?
He's going to become the starting quarterback of the Jets.
Ryan Fitzpatrick again?
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Give
but-
him another go at it?
Might as
No,
well.
I think Fitz is a good guy. He's going to want to help him. I mean, I'm sure he's a little hurt that he's not playing. I mean, he deserved to still be starting, but I think just he's a team player. So I think he's going to help him. And then maybe he can even, show him as an example as himself, not to have those implosions where he's throwing
Yeah.
all these picks. I think that could be a good learning experience for Tua.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, he has a ton of experience in the league, and like you said, he was
Yeah.
playing pretty
I mean,
well.
it's just business, man.
they were
Yeah.
winning games. He was
Yeah.
he was having
He drafted
stellar
Tua
games.
Yeah.
to fucking be the franchise quarterback.
So the team will probably take a step back just because, I mean, he's a rookie. He's just getting started. But as long as he gets through the season healthy and you want to just see, this is why we took him, showing those moments, I think that's all they're going to be happy with, even if they only win 2-3 more games.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all going to be basically how he kind of progresses throughout the year, rather than, hey, we need you to win this amount of games so that we can make the playoffs. Like, I think that's the least of their worries for
Right,
this year.
right.
At least at this point, being
Yeah.
3-3, you got the Bills who are playing well.
Yeah, they
they
just want to get him reps.
exactly.
Yeah, and they're comfortable with their skill player guys, just who
Yeah.
they're going to want to keep for next year. So I think that's all
Yep.
important. I mean, they still got a ton of draft picks, so I'm sure they're really
Right. No,
evaluating
Miami's
everything.
definitely in a good spot moving forward where they can bring in some
Mm-hmm.
key players and, draft some good rookies to kind of join this young core. And Brian Flores is doing a great job over there. Big fan of him. But staying on the AFC side, and I know we just kind of touched upon this team with Gino, we have a rivalry on our hands at 1 o'clock. We have the Steelers and the Ravens. Usually ends in a dogfight. Both teams, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers who are 6-0, the Ravens who are 5-1, coming off a bye week. What are our thoughts about that game coming up?
I mean, I think it's going to be a great game. I mean, you look historically, the point differential is always, I mean,
always
you
right
look
there.
10 matchups, it's decided by 7. I mean, it's something ridiculous like that. The one thing, though, I do think, I mean, I have to favor the Steelers here just because you look at Lamar Jackson.
Running back.
That's what everyone says. And then on top of it, he'll have good passing games, but they're against, those bad defenses. But then look what he does, when the Chiefs, they have a lot of veterans. They know how to game plan for him. So can he step up against a defense with TJ Watt in his face, read a defense and make those throws and not just always look to get outside? I think he's going to struggle in the passing game.
I would agree with that. And to piggy off of that, it's like their defense is fast. They get after the ball. So it's like he has to be ready to kind of get on the move and make those throws that I don't know if he's going to be able to do against a defense like this, who's pretty much, they move almost as fast as he does.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw it, and then Tennessee last year, same type of team where they're really tough on defense, and he struggled.
Yeah.
So
you saw his playoff appearances too, when those big games, and I think it's pretty clear cut that this is a big game for them this weekend. So it's like those big games, he kind of tends to fall back in the sense of he doesn't perform to his full potential.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, going forward, if he did have a big game, I mean, that would be huge for him. And I think, that would install a lot more confidence. But
I think it's going to be a shootout. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be
You
high
think so?
score- yeah,
Are we going to see Des Bryant on
like
the
30,
field?
like 37, 34.
I think Dez, taking 3 years off is going to need a little
he's
time to
starting.
get.
He's starting on Sunday against the Steelers.
No, it's gonna
they
be,
need him
it's gonna
out
be a shootout.
there.
30 I'm going to say like a game like 37, 34.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Shootout.
the
Lamar
receivers for the
Jackson will-
Steelers,
yeah.
I mean, Claypool, I mean, I know he didn't do much last week,
Roethlisberger's
but
gonna
he looks
be
good.
slinging it.
Yeah. Big Ben is
Johnson's
pumped.
a stud for them. Deontay Johnson.
Yeah,
He's been
and
doing
it's
well.
funny. Schuster's probably like really kind of falling down in the pecking order. You thought, oh, maybe he's an emerging star, but the other guys look better.
The guys are
Now, do you
ridiculous.
think that's part of their game plan though?
Yeah,
target
probably.
target these young guys who are kind of having success, free up
And then let
Juju a little
Juju
bit, and then like next
explode.
thing you know, he's
Yeah.
having like 150 yards a game with 2
They,
touchdowns.
they could do that.
Yeah.
They could do
It-
that.
Yeah.
It's very well possible. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
Tomlin's been a
To be able
coach
to
of
do
that
that.
team for a while, so
Yeah,
he knows
forever,
the scheme
bro.
like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's probably kind of mixing in a couple things here and there to
Yeah,
to
I
kind
mean,
of free
and
up
it
some
just
guys.
they know how to develop receivers. I mean, Antonio Brown, he was a 6th-round pick. Sanders, I know, wasn't a
Unbelievable.
high pick. I mean, that's what they do.
The receivers are always sick.
And they don't even
Always.
need to take him in the first round either.
No.
No, these are late round guys who
Yeah.
are performing
Yeah,
at the
Steelers
peak of
are
their.
at, the organization just run well.
Yeah,
Always.
absolutely.
Always has been.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, who we taking?
Yeah, I got to go with the Steelers. I think it's going to be a close game, probably down to a field goal, but I just think in the end, Lamar, he might throw a pick on the last drive as they're driving down the field. But that's kind of how I see it.
It's tough because the Steelers defense. I don't know. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate and go with Baltimore.
Okay. I like that pick though, because you never know what
You don't
Baltimore
never know.
team shows up. They are
I'll
coming
tell
off
you
a
what,
bye
I
too.
picked Pittsburgh last week against Tennessee. Sorry, Pittsburgh. I'm going against
Okay, so you're all
Baltimore.
right. So let's do this, Mike. We're gonna have to start keeping records of these
Yeah.
picks.
I got
So, for
you.
example,
Oh, yeah,
Tam
100%.
is 1-0 in the sense that he picked the Steelers over the Titans. Me and JPO are 0-1 because we picked the Titans. Gino, your fucking team screwed me. So now Barnes, you picked the Steelers.
Yep.
I'm gonna also take the Steelers as well.
Bro, money.
I think they're playing great football. I think they're just too much to handle for Baltimore. So I'm gonna take Pittsburgh going 7-0 on Sunday, and then quickly we're gonna discuss the Sunday game at 4:25. Now I've already said my piece about this. Go back and watch the most recent episode where I just literally called out Russell Wilson, telling him he's gonna lose on Sunday, and it's still the case. 49ers, Seahawks.
Did he ever get back to you?
No, he actually hasn't hit me back yet, but I think he's just worried about prepping for Jimmy G.
I'm very nervous.
So,
Yes.
49ers, Seahawks, we know the history with that team. Last year, week 17, Hollister was dropped on the goal line. Niners, 1 seed, went on, did whatever, lost to the Chiefs. I get it. I know.
Did whatever.
What are we kind of looking forward this game in the sense of Russ continuing to make things move?
Dude,
and
for your sake, I hope the Seahawks pound the fucking 49ers.
how is that for my sake? That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I'm not going to get too crazy about this. I want a
just trying to amp
I want
you
a
up.
genuine analysis of the game in the sense of 49ers have experienced
gonna get that from
injuries.
Tam, so
they've
Barnaby?
been kind of winning the past couple weeks, whatever, playing good football. But it is the Seahawks. They are a tough team. What are we kind of thinking about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think their rivalry is almost kind of similar to Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I mean, they usually play close games, and I think the way Russell Wilson played last week, I mean, he played well, but some of those picks, I mean, it seemed like he's just lobbing the ball in. So I think
last one, on the Metcalf,
rundown.
That was insane.
That was
insane.
And the Niners, even though ravaged by injuries, of course, but they have a tough defense. So I really think, I mean, it could go either way. I mean, they're just so banged up at running back. Wilson has 3 touchdowns. Now he's on
goes
IR.
on the IR. Sick.
So it's just, I think it is going to be close, and it could really go either way. And I think, if Wilson avoids the turnovers, I don't see how they lose. I mean, the way he throws a deep ball, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody have that accuracy and precision. It's unbelievable.
He has an
Dan
absolute
Marino.
dime. He has the dimer badge. He has the dimer badge for NFL.
Right.
He throws dimes down the field.
Doesn't. He's got like a bronze dimer badge.
And I do think it's a good opportunity for the Niners to really get some rhythm on offense. I mean, that Seattle defense all year really hasn't done much. So
So that's my biggest thing is that Seattle's defense is not what it has been in past years, where they've been dominant, flying around the field. Yeah, they have Bobby Wagner, who's one of the greatest at his position, hands down. Getting a little older now, yeah. But in the sense of, and I'm gonna address Mike's point real quick. Jimmy G does not have to throw the ball downfield in our offense because if he is a system quarterback in the sense that he does exactly what he needs to do to be a part of Kyle Shanahan's offense, which is dump the ball off.
That's what you paid him for?
Use your running game to set up the play action pass. That is their style. And we'll see what happens with Seattle in the sense of he usually sometimes shows up for big time games. I mean, we saw in the fucking Super Bowl.
That sounds like a great quarterback to have.
Oh my God. Your Jets are 0-7. That's enough out of you.
I'm just waiting for Gary V. I don't care.
I'm just curious to see how that offense kind of works with the lack of running backs they have. I mean, they lost Debo again with a hamstring strain. They are expected to get some guys back, but they're game time decisions. So before we kind of wrap this topic up, I want to make another pick. So we're going to take another pick. You already know mine. I made it very viral and everything on the show. Yep. So I'm going with the Niners.
I'm going with Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Seattle too. But I do think a key would be for the Niners, get Kittle involved. I mean, he's so dependable. I know you want him to be a blocker in the run game, but I just think he's so reliable catching the ball. Skills. That'll give Jimmy G confidence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And with a potential rookie JaMychal Hasty starting at running back, you're probably going to see him being used more as like a screen guy, which will open up Kittle to kind of run his routes, get his touches. And I think I agree with that. Kittle needs to be a big time factor in this game on Sunday in order for us to kind of have a shot, as well as Brandon Ayuk, because without Debo, he kind of has to fill that role. I think it'll be a good game. We'll see what happens. I hope, the Niners can jump on top. But with that being said, I want to see what we asked Gino for Barnes in the sense of pick an NFC and AFC team that you kind of have had your eyes on for a while, who are kind of that one team who is going to kind of cruise through the rest of the season.
So for the NFC, Wilson's playing great, but I just think that defense, drops him down a notch. And always being a Jet fan, of course, I don't love Tom Brady, but I'm impressed by that team just because the defense is so good. Mm-hmm. So. And then on offense, I don't know if I've ever seen a more stacked offense with Gronk with AD,
OJ Howard.
Evans. That's unbelievable. So I'm picking them, to make it to the Super Bowl. And then, on the AFC side, hard to go against Mahomes. I know it's been kind of weird the last couple games. They've been running the ball a lot, and his numbers haven't been great, but the defense looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I just think in a big-time game, how do you go against him?
Right. And I would have to say, like, that defense, for Kansas City has been, stepping up, which I think is definitely what they need them to do to kind of make that run again.
Yeah.
If they get back to that whole inconsistent defensive play and then, like, people start to keen in on, like, Mahomes and what he's doing, it might be tough for them to kind of make that run again, but they are definitely the favorites out of the AFC, hands down, just because of how they're playing. They got Le'Veon Bell now, so we'll see how he gets implemented into the offense, but ton of weapons. I like those picks a lot. It would be cool to see Mahomes Brady.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be wild because we never were able to see that because he was on New England and they would always meet in the AFC Championship. So now it'd be cool to see them kind of duel it out in the Super Bowl.
Very likely.
Which would be, I think, something very special to see.
Sick game.
Yeah.
Hey,
sick Super Bowl.
Young versus old, you know?
And I think Kansas City would love to repeat. I mean, there hasn't been a repeat champ in over 15 years, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
That'd
been
be-
tough
that'd
for
be pretty
teams to
nuts,
do.
yeah.
But who's in a better position since then? Since for the Chiefs, I mean,
Yeah.
everything
besides
is
Seattle.
lined up.
Back then.
Yeah, I mean, well, that
Well,
was
we saw how that one ended.
Yeah.
yeah, oof,
Somebody
saw
was
how that
stoned
one
on
ended.
that one.
yeah.
Whoever
It
called
was
the
just. I think they overthought the play. I think they were trying to get too cute with it. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever they had to do. Whatever
Yeah.
the case was, it happened. We're over it now.
We digress.
But it's crazy that Seattle hasn't been back
Yeah.
since then. I mean, that's a tough one
might
to
be the
take.
year. Maybe
yeah,
this is the year.
It could be.
It could be.
It would, you know, what, Seattle and Kansas City would be a sick Super Bowl too.
yeah,
Both
yeah.
high-powered offenses.
that would be
Defenses are
something.
kind of there, but not really.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, like right in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a pretty cool
And just seeing Wilson and Mahomes just throwing it all over the
Shootout.
field. Oh,
Absolute
man.
They can both
shootout.
run
Very
too. Both of
entertaining.
them can run.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be cool to see that too. I mean, obviously, there's a lot left in the season.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully, all these teams can stay healthy, continue to play at the level that they can play at. But Barnes, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure. We will have you in again. You're going to be calling in. You're going to be here all the time. And for those of you guys tuning in, we'll see you guys actually tomorrow for the Sportsport episode 8.
Quick shout out to the softball team. Sorry, boys. Sorry I wasn't there this fall season.
We'll get you back out there next season.
Yeah, spring. I'm back. I just had to. We had to get involved with this shit.
I'ma keep on drinking, I ain't stopping. I'm on a roll, can't stop it. No backing out, I'm locked in. No key to my heart, I locked it. Don't trust a bitch, be cautious.